and I'm representing my company called Interiors INC, and we provide hospitality furniture for all the major five-star hotels and restaurants, including Oberoi's, Lemon Tree, Taj, ITC, and many more. I've made cards for Laruri. I've been making. I've made cards for Harley's in Hyderabad. I've made cards for DLF, and these upcoming cafes and all. I've made kiosks as well. So let's say my buffet counters is one of our pioneer products that we sell, and we can even customize it differently according to the taste of our consumers. We use Korean top. For the top, we use ply, and then we put Korean. Now, why Korean? Because it's number one, it's scratch resistant, it's heat resistant, and it keeps the food solid at a certain temperature. Otherwise, there's a lot of chances of marble and granite getting cracks. And the only thing that my father told me when I joined was, Nikhil, never ever leave a client unsatisfied. Doesn't matter you're making money or you're not. You got to respect that he's paying you for your time and for your product. Once he's happy and there's a smile on his face, you're allowed to, to leave.
Hello and welcome to Talking Through Podcast. My name is Dipankar. I hope you've seen our podcast before, but if you haven't, let me tell you what it is. We invite guests from different industries and professions who come here, share their experiences, and we try to ask them meaningful questions so that we can get you some knowledge from their industries and experiences that you can use in your life. Today, we have a really interesting guest. His name is Nikhil Khanna, and he's a really young and dynamic entrepreneur. He's the owner of Interiors Inc., which is a 30-year-old company which deals with hospitality industry furniture and which is obviously a very unique industry. So before any further ado, let's get to it. Hi, Nikhil. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for coming to Talking Through
Thank you.
Podcast. We've always wanted to get like a really young entrepreneur. So thank you for making it here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Before we move on to asking you
Yeah.
like some deeper questions, it'll be great if you could introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. So my name is Nikhil, and I'm representing my company called Interiors INC, and we provide hospitality furniture for all the major five-star hotels and restaurants, including Oberoi's, Lemon Tree, Taj, ITC, and many more. And our quality makes us the OEM suppliers for Oberoi's and Lemon Tree.
Okay.
And we've been dealing in this industry for the last 30 years, and our major goods are all over pan India, and we specialize in indoor and outdoor furniture.
Right, right. So before we started the interview, you were also alluding to that you also manufacture and design your
Yes.
own products. So how does that process work for you?
Sure. So we are hardcore manufacturers. We have a fairly mechanized unit in Noida itself, where we manufacture all of our furniture. We have a showroom come manufacturing unit, and we provide import substitutes. And our goods, in terms of quality, are at par, if not better than imported furniture.
Right.
And we manufacture using all our new imported machines and CNC machines, due to which we're able to be the leaders in the industry.
Right. So the clients that you just mentioned, they're all big clients, right, with money. So what about import substitutes? Can you? What I'm trying to ask is, they have the money. Why not import? Why get it from here? And how did you break into this industry? I mean, your father, of course.
So that's a very good question. So there are 2 or 3 major chains, and these companies are based out of US or in Italy. But where we come out is, number one, that such companies won't provide you customized furniture.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, you have a certain design, and which is given to you by your architect, and you want to replicate that design. So these guys will not do it until it's a 1,000 quantity, or it's a large order. That's where we come in, where we sit down with your architects. You give me your designs, or your architect gives me your design. We roughly try to replicate that with the dimensions, and we're able to provide you with the same at where quality wise it's A1, especially it's according to your dimensions and according to your specifications.
Right. So, in terms of designing your furniture, that you were saying that you would work with the architects and try to understand what they need, or the interior designers. But in terms of what you've noticed, how do you keep ahead of the time and preempt what the client is going to ask you for? How do you do that?
So that's a very good question, and how we do that is to remain leaders, or to be to solve the needs of so many people. What we do is we have our own designers where we are continuously working on making new designs, and we have a completely R&D, small R&D process and a place where we learn, we adapt, we try to see new trends. Like for an example, I'll give you an example that 2 years back when I recently joined, food carts and food kiosks became a huge thing, and where everyone wanted to enter this industry, and it's the easiest way of doing so because you can serve a large clientele using these carts, and it's cost effective as well as time, it's time effective as well. I thought, why not get into this? Luckily, you won't believe it, I get a call, and this is completely organic. I haven't done anything. Through word of mouth, I get a call from Miss Chandni, who's the person who got Laduri in India. And she tells me that, hi, hey, Nikhil, this is so and so, and I've imported 2 carts from Belgium. And you won't believe it, she spent 8.5 lakhs on that one cart. She said, I'm completely unhappy. It's come damaged. Plus, with the quality also, I'm not happy. Can you come and have a look? I said, sure. And the office was in Noida itself. So I go and have a meeting, and the carts are in a basement. You won't believe it. I was shocked. Those carts were made of MDMF. And MDMF, if your audience doesn't know, it's the cheapest material of. It's a substitute of using plywood. That is actual wood.
Okay.
So I'm like that. You spend so much, and this is the quality. She's like, okay, but now I want you to do it because I'm not. I've lost my trust with this company, and I know that you guys can do it. And that's the first time I've ever got into this domain. I have no clue, but I can't say no to her since she's giving me this chance. It took us roughly 1 month, 1 month and a half to build that cart which she was looking at. She comes to the office, I show it to her. She's completely satisfied. I use all SS304, no use of any MDMF, made it of solid ply. And she's been using it ever since. And it's been 3 years. She's hardly given me a call or she's complained. But she does a lot of catering through it. So just for a bit touch up or anything, my guys go, and that's an AMC I have with her. But we managed from then. I've never looked back. Now since then, I've made cards for Cinnabon. I've made cards for Laruri. I've been making. I've made cards for Harleys in Hyderabad. I've made cards for DLF, and these upcoming cafes and all. I've made kiosks as well. So this is a new domain that we started, and it's all customized. So this is what you asked, that how do you stay ahead? It's by dealing in customized furniture, because your branding and your company has a different look to every other brand. So a brand like Cinnabon has a different color shade to a brand like Laduri. So that's where we come in, and we try to make a tailored, customized card for your brand, which only suit you compared to other brands.
Right. So I have this question which was popping up in my mind, and I wanted to ask you. So if you make a cart, it's going to be like one cart or maximum of 2 at once,
Definitely.
right? And it's not like a large scale production business. So is there profit in it? Do you?
Yes, there is, because there's a lot of time and effort and high-end raw materials which has gone into the play, and not everybody can do that. So we charge for our expertise. And talking about profits, yes, there is, but we get higher profits when it comes in larger quantities. But now that's a very good question on how we sustain using these cards. Is once you start, let's say you start your cafe, you open one kiosk, you'll never stop. You'll want to try to expand a business by opening it in a different different state, or opening it in a different location. So that's where we come in. So once you've developed that trust with us, you won't look back. You'll be like, okay, Nikhil, I'm coming to you. You build my card, my first card, I love it. Time to build the next one. Time to build the next one. Time to build the next one. And obviously they keep on changing and expanding. And that's where we develop a long-lasting relationship with them.
Sure. I mean, obviously it's an upcoming industry, so to speak. Like you have like food festivals where people are coming up with carts or vans. So obviously it's something to look forward to as an industry. Another question I have was, this company has been here for 30 years, right?
Yes.
Your dad started it, ran it successfully. Now it's coming down to you. What is the difference now when your dad did it, and what kind of challenges existed then, and what kind of challenges exist now?
So talking about the time that my dad was in, so I was not in the business, or I don't have a lot of expertise about that, but I can give you a brief idea. I think people were more quality conscious back then, where hotels and restaurants and even people who were spending were looking for quality. Nowadays, the shift has come from quality to being a more conscious behavior when it comes to pricing. So now people look at affordability as a bigger dimension. Before, when we used to give our orders or when we used to get our PIs, people used to be like, okay, emphasize on your quality. Now people emphasize on using such material where your costing comes lower. So this trend has changed due to two reasons. Number one is competition. Second is people are looking, the purchasing power now of people are changing, and that is how we are moving towards finding effective ways. Now you see every company or every market is moving towards effective cost of production or effective cost of mobility. Look at vehicles. People are moving into electric vehicles to reduce the cost. So people are becoming aware. They are trying, which is healthy as well as unhealthy. Can affect both in both ways. It has a negative as well as a positive effect. So the major changes: change in technology, change in the trends of people's mindset, and change in the way people look into the aesthetics of our products.
Right. Uh, in terms of aesthetics, how do you manage expectations with clients with respect to what aesthetic they are asking you to build and what aesthetic you are giving? Are you always able to converge, or sometimes you're not able to deliver due to technical reasons or economic reasons? Can you explain a little bit about that?
So one major thing, and the only thing that my father told me when I joined was, Nikhil, never ever leave a client unsatisfied. Doesn't matter you're making money or you're not. You got to respect that he's paying you for your time and for your product. Once he's happy and there's a smile on his face, you're allowed to leave. Otherwise, let's say if a client comes to me and there are various complications which happen since this is customized product that we're making. So the architect comes in, he has his own ideas. Sometimes if you're not able to build it, then we move from scratch. We try to replicate what he's looking at. So this is a very to and fro journey which happens between us. But it's just that in the end, this is what my job is, and it's supposed to make your clients happy, and that's how people become. Now you from your own mouth said that that it's a 30-year-old company. So we're able to sustain only for so long in this industry is because we are known for providing quality and being a very good company when it comes to customer satisfaction. So that is our motto. And yes, there are complications, but you gotta move ahead and make the client happy.
Sure. Obviously, when you're in this
Customer is
business,
king.
you can't do much.
You can't
right?
do much.
My next question is a little bit about you.
Sure.
When you joined the business, like 2.5 years ago, what was the toughest challenge you faced that time?
So the toughest challenge is gaining knowledge because I have no clue about this industry. If I can allow me to brief about my background.
Yeah, sure.
So I did my +1 and +2 from DPS.
Yeah.
Then I went to Jindal and did my BBA from there. After that, I worked for 2 years at a tech-based company in Gurgaon. And I was working in the US shift. So my timing was from 9 till 6 in the morning. Completely different related to what I'm doing currently. So I was into sales. That was one common thing. But it was an ed tech. So totally dealing with the service provider rather than being a product-related company. But due to the change in timings and due to the health complication which arises when you're working around the clock, so I decided to switch. And then since I have already a platform, why not raise it since we have the legacy which is running. So I joined, and the toughest knowledge, the toughest aspect of any business is gaining knowledge. So it took me roughly around 6 to 7 months just to gain knowledge and to see what are the raw materials we are using, what is the client feedback, what are they asking for, what are their needs, and then moving along it. But let me tell you one thing: the business is always dynamic. You're learning a new thing every day. So I will never say that any guy who's running a business knows everything. You're definitely learning every new thing a new day, and that is you just got to take everything like on a day-to-day basis.
Right. It's good to know that you're focusing on knowledge and other things which come along with it. Obviously, you are also leading sales for your company. So, can you tell us a little bit about how do you kind of market your products?
And how do we gain clients?
Yeah, how do you do that?
That's a superb question. So number one is word of mouth. Since it's a very small industry, hospitality industry, now we are catering to the residential itself. I will talk later. But talking about the hospitality industry, it's a very small industry where major chains have a lot of properties and different owners. But people the suppliers are limited. So
Right.
once your company is good, your quality is tested, you would get repetitive orders, not from the same hotel itself. So let's say you're the purchase head of XYZ hotel, and somebody at ABC is friends with you. He asks you, where did you buy those furniture from? You'll be like, okay, I bought it from them. We have a good rapport with them. I'll get a lead from you. Same way, one is word of mouth. Second is through marketing. Third again is by developing new products, and which is known as our tagline of our company's innovation and design,
Okay.
which was
Yeah.
stated clearly by my dad.
Yeah.
And it's through innovating, and you keep on making new products. Fourth is we do exhibitions as well, in which whatever new products are made during the year, we participate in IHE and AHAR. AHAR is one of the biggest exhibitions which happens of our industry in Delhi itself, and it happens in Pragati Maidan. So we market our goods over there, and for the last 15 years we've been doing that. We've been participating in AHAR, so we get a lot of clientele from there as well.
Right, right. So, when you go and participate in these big events which happen like AHAR, what are some of the prerequisites and how do you showcase your products there? Just for the benefit of people who want to do it, can learn from your.
Definitely. So for a new timer, so since what you need to do about it, you need to get in touch with them. They have their own websites and their own digital marketing where you can fill a form. You get in touch with them. After that, they'll try to look at your company and what is it that you deal. In which segment can your products come? So since in AHAR there are various segments. So according to your segment, according to your budget, you'll choose your stall. Then you'll obviously fabricate it. You try to make the stall look pretty. Now that is another cost. So one is that. One is through you booking a stall. Third and the most important thing that I'd like to share to your viewers is that always get a company registered under MSME, because using the MSME portal, you get a lot of kickbacks.
Okay.
So since you're a new company and you just want to put your goods in AHAR, you can do using MSME and you get the rebate of
Okay.
you get at least 50%, 60% rebate,
Okay.
which is an initiative which was started
right.
started back in the day. So that is one thing which you can do. Now talking about us, for us, AHAR is not much of a place where we want to sell. It's more of a marketing place,
Right.
and a symbol that we guys are still in business. Because for the last 10, 15 years, people are used to seeing Interiors INC displaying their products at AHAR. So if we don't do that, I will come out as a shock more than
Yeah.
we not being
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So it works the other way.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we are at AHAR and we get business through there.
Okay, great. So currently in the
Yeah.
market, how is the competition like? Are you getting competition from local players or getting competition from outside the country or outside the state? How's the landscape now?
Now competition is widespread through various domains. Local has always been there, because let me give you an example. Let's say you're a small hotel in Bangalore, which has just started a 60 room key or a 70 room key. Now for you to get my furniture, there'll be a freight charge also which you'll have to pay.
Right.
So now a lot of buyers don't focus on quality, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, we'll make it locally. And then what they do is to save on the freight charges, they'll get it manufactured locally. But obviously you can't compare my quality to them, which they learn soon enough. And after a year or two, they'll come back and they'll try to buy furniture from me itself. But yeah, that is one place where local manufacturers has always been a key role. But in Delhi NCR, luckily we have a good hold on our clients. So, but one is local competition that you said. Second, talking about competition from abroad or from foreign countries, there has been, but let's say countries which are bordering India, let's say Nepal or Bangladesh, our products keep on going there, and we keep on supplying our products to them as well.
Okay. And how do you source your raw material? How so much variety, because you're making customized
Yeah.
furniture, right? And there must be so many different kinds of inputs coming as raw material. How do you
Definitely.
source that?
So talking about my set, we already have a set list of our suppliers of our raw materials, where we get our supply raw material from. And talking about new products, when we make new products or we need looking for new vendors, we go into the domain and we work. I mean, try to find someone who has, because since how will I be able to provide you with quality unless I'm not getting good source of raw materials? So that is something which we focus on. and our wood is all sourced from very good vendors who have been supplying for the last 30 years, and touch wood, we haven't had any problems with them. But yeah, sourcing a raw material is a major part of any business because that is the root of your product, especially in a product initiated business. So it is a major domain, and we go thoroughly through the process and have a set list of our suppliers.
Right, right. Um, just by talking to you, I just got a question in my
Yeah.
mind. So, how's your sales process in terms of, say, do you keep a track of, this person or this company is opening
Yeah.
a new hotel, let me go and pitch it to them?
Yeah.
Or it's more reactive that they would come to you and then you will pitch it to them?
Sure.
How's the.
So sales in this industry happens in two ways. So number one, where I'm the OEM supplier, which makes me the original equipment manufacturers. So whichever new hotel will open from that chain, whatever items I've supplied, it becomes an item code.
Okay.
So whenever they try to look for that item, it'll show that Interiors INC is a registered vendor through which directly I'll get the order. So in that I don't have to put in a much of my time. But when it comes to new orders, since it's a bulk order. Whenever new hotel opens up, it's going to be a bulk order because they're looking for quantity to fill up their hotel. Now, for that, we need to do a constant follow-ups, and we need to make PL, need to give them discounts. But the time interval between getting that order and churning like from a first conversation, it takes roughly around 25 to 30 days, or even can take 2 months.
Okay.
Because the owners need to set their own budgets. Then they'll obviously use an L1, L2, L2, which is basically taking rates from 3 different companies and try to, find the middle point. So all the process is long and tedious, but since we have been doing it for a long period of time, we know that how the process works and how to get it done.
Right. Also, one thing which I don't know anything about, and I just wanted to ask you about that, is the regulation in your industry. What
Okay.
kind of government regulations you have in this industry?
So let's say my buffet counters is one of our pioneer products that we sell, and we even customize it differently according to the taste of our consumers. We use Korean top. For the top, we use ply, and then we put Korean. Now, why Korean? Because it's number one, it's scratch resistant, it's heat resistant, and it keeps the food solid at a certain temperature. Otherwise, there's a lot of chances of marble and granite getting cracks. So that is how we keep our products regulated.
Right.
Second major product for talking about regulations is our food warmers. Now, food warmers is where electrical and heat comes into play.
Right.
So, before what we used to do in the industry is there used to be thermostats in which you can manually set the temperature. Now we have patented our designs in which we use AutoCut. Now, AutoCut is an inbuilt thermostat which goes into the food warmer, which at 75 degrees Celsius would cut the temperature, and then after 2-3 minutes, it'll start heating again.
Okay.
So that is again, and then it even has a fuse. So in case any short circuit or any fuse happens, it will never lead to any fire hazard.
Okay.
So these are the regulations that we take and we keep upon us, but there's no government regulated as such.
Okay. All right. So I've asked you a lot of technical questions about your company, about the industry as well. Let me ask something about you personally.
Sure.
Why did you join your family business, right?
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking is, were you always interested in it, or because you saw it happening in front of you every day? You've developed interest, or you have innate interest in it?
So they've said that I don't know if I believe into this, but I think I should.
Yeah.
But this, when you're born in a certain family, let's say if you're born in a family where your father is doing a professional business, like he's a CA or he's in sales or XYZ, you are subconsciously shaped to to perform in that way. Since I was born in a business family, I never seen my dad working for someone else, and he's had the expertise of this through his early days. So even if you're eating dinner, let's say I'm talking about when I'm a kid, you're eating dinner or you're sitting at a table or you've gone to meet his friends who are like-minded, who are into business, you learn and you subconsciously what they're talking, it goes into your play, and then you suit your life accordingly. Since I did not want to start immediately into this, I wanted to gain experience, which I rightly so did. But my main question was that since I already have this platform, which to be honest I've been given by my dad, why not take it to another level? and instead of working for someone else and and churning my results into his production. So that is how I entered, and I haven't looked back, and I won't. But I am obviously want to start something of my own soon, but which will somewhat be related to this. But right now, my main and my focus would be to take this to the next level.
Right. Um, so when you say take this to the next level, do you want to grow geographically or digitally or product wise? What's your dream?
So in the near future, it is as I mentioned it earlier as well, that we want to get into residential sector.
Okay.
Since we are dealing in the hospitality industry, and since we provide quality to them, there are people who want that quality and that living of lifestyle at their homes as well. And since I have my set business, why not do it for them? So we are into the high-end villas now. We do luxury villas, we do luxury homes, where we work with the architects and we make the customized furniture for them. So that is one domain which we have moved on into. Second, talking about geography, yes, we are planning on opening another office or another sector in Goa itself, where there's a lot of demand. And every month there are at least 5 to 10 high-end resorts. I'm talking about high-end restaurants and resorts which are opening in Goa. And one of the major reason for them not dealing with us or not dealing with people from Delhi itself is because we guys don't have our office there. And since Delhi has a very bad reputation, you must be knowing Delhi has a very bad reputation when it comes to dealing with furniture or in any other manufacturing, because a lot of people scam them. So they are a bit scared. So to deal with that problem, I'm going to open my office in a small showroom in Goa itself. And these are the two ways that I'm in the narrow future looking to go ahead. And then in the future, yes, we're going to expand geographically and deal with clients abroad as well. Since I told you that we're dealing with Nepal and Bangladesh recently, so these are three domains where where my focus is.
Sure. Good to know that you are planning to expand the business in a meaningful way. How's the life of a young entrepreneur? Is it like work, 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 or there is some fun involved?
So since, let's say, I'll be very candid when it comes to this question. Since I was working in a corporate field, and I think your background has also been related to corporate. You make a lot of friends, and your time passes by very quickly. So let's say if it's an 8 hour or a 9 hour shift, you'll take a lunch break in between. You'll go out and you'll have some coffee. You'll spend some time with your colleagues as well. So which your balance of work life and personal life becomes very very easy. And and then since you're in the same domain, you have someone to share your problems with as well. But when it comes to business, you're dealing with clients majorly, and the only way of having a social life is building it off your own, which keeping your business aside. So when I'm working, I give that 8 hours or 9 hours, which is tiring, but you got to focus on giving it then. After that, I have my own friends and my social life where I'm a hard gymmer. I love to give my time towards health and focus on gymming. And I as well as play golf as well. I've currently started. My dad has been a vivid golfer, and we are the members of the Delhi Golf Club and the Delhi Khanna Club. And my main focus is to focus on playing golf. Golf is a very good sport for getting work as well. So you got to balance and you got to find time and keep your life interesting by your own, rather than focusing on on other things. But life as a corporate is easier when it comes to social. But I think in business you get a very set vision. You got to focus on one thing and then focus on making it right.
Right. So you've seen your dad grow this business over 30 years. Now you've also joined it. What qualities do you see in your dad that you would also want to imbibe to become a successful entrepreneur?
So my dad is a very good smooth talker.
Okay.
One thing I've learned from him is that he talk. It's not that he doesn't talk. He talk fully logically, and then he knows what to say when. That is one trait which I am also working on, because that is what plays a good role in your PR. Second of all, my dad is a very good golfer, and due to being a member of the golf club, he gets a lot of business using the course, since he plays with the high level architects or people who own such hotels. So the client building, talking well. Third is dressing up smartly. That is also something which my dad has taught me. That always dress appropriately for the meeting that you have. And another thing is that managing everything. So since I am just joined, it actually is, I look up to him because since you have your own business, you have to look up your marketing. You got to take a look at your labor force. You got to take care of your workplace. You got to take care of your clients. You got to take care of the production. So handling everything at once, and him being a one-man show before me, and since I am also learning from him, handling that for the last 30 years is something which I look up to, and I'm like, yeah, how do you do that? People here, we try to look at easier ways, and thanks to him that I have a more subdued life, where I don't have to focus so much, but then it's his brains which started this company. So I also look up to him because I'm scared, how did he do so? But then he's just that, when you got to do something, it clicks. So it's just the way that he manages people, manages his life. He's a very good golfer, and he knows how to deal with people is something which I look forward to learning from him.
So obviously, maybe someday we can also speak with him.
Yeah. He'll be a much better guest than me for sure.
So before we let you go,
Yeah.
do you have like an interesting story to tell us that happened when you joined the business or now recently with a client or a supplier, whatever, which taught you something meaningful?
So this is it's an interesting story for us because so what happened was I told you that we are the OEM suppliers for Lemon Tree. That only caters to the hotels which are owned and managed by Lemon Tree. Now, since Lemon Tree also franchises their name and they outsource the name, and many cafe owners or many builders open their own hotels, and then they sell off the management to Lemon Tree. So one such hotel opened in Bangalore, and they took our quotes, and we had a meeting with the GM and the F&B manager, which is the food and the beverage manager. And he said that, sorry to say, your products, we have gotten your reference to Lemon Tree, but we think that your quality is your quality is good, but your prices is too much for us. And then I said, okay, but since this is the best price, I'm giving you the same price that I gave to Lemon Tree and other properties. There's no way that I can, go. And if you want to go with a local vendor, please do. And so they didn't buy furniture from us, and they bought it from some local guy in Bangalore. After 2 years, we got a call from the corporate office in Lemon Tree. Mr. Khanna, क्या हो गया sir? We like, so what happened? Sir, आपके सारा फर्नीचर टूट रहा है, मुझे इतनी कहते, we are never for the last 15 years been working with, आज तक ऐसा कभी हुआ नहीं, we never had such an experience, it's horrible, we don't know whether to go ahead with you, buy, and it was a very shocking because working with a client for 15 years, your work is based out of them. That's one of the biggest clients for me. And then we said, okay, so please let us know कौन सा property है, क्या है. So we get our details. They said कि sir Bangalore में. And then we had a smile. We said, please connect us to the owners. And then we were like, sir, you know that we haven't supplied. Your general manager and F&B rejected our quotes, and your products that you bought are from a local manufacturer. Even the owner didn't know.
Oh,
that something like this has happened.
okay.
So sometimes, these people, to save money or to siphon money, they use these cheap tactics, if you know what I'm trying to say. Even the owner was shocked that, how come furniture has not gone from us? And due to that, we got a lot of business, and then he gave us business. But this is a very interesting story. What goes around comes back around. So this is something that I learned, that always focus on quality and excellence. People, if not soon, they'll definitely learn by making mistakes, that that if there's a person who's focused on as a brand, he'll definitely come back to you. So just focus on keeping that level of quality and that brand assurance always at point where you don't disencourage your consumers.
So this was Nikhil Khanna, who is an entrepreneur in the furniture industry, and that too very specific hospitality furniture industry. If you want to reach out to him, all his details are below, and you can reach out to him directly. And I hope that once you reach out to him, you'll get a great experience.